You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Let's discover hard cover months, but it's this enough so you can know what's up in the hood.
Climate change is becoming a topic of discussion more and more in today's society. Neglect of the health and well-being of the Earth has led to the deterioration of our ozone layer, causing an increase in global temperatures, especially in the North and South Poles. The effects of this are beginning to become more severe as temperatures in the Midwest are expected to drop to a record low of -30 degrees. Officials say that even spending a couple minutes outside could lead to intense frostbite and permanent damage to the skin. Cities are scrambling to provide shelter for those not fortunate enough to have a home to stay in, as this extreme cold front could be deadly. If this isn't a good enough wake-up call for the world to change its damaging tendencies, then I'm terrified to see the natural disaster that does evoke that change.
There's gonna be a lot of pollution, and the places where we put the garbage are gonna be full of garbage, and we're not gonna have any place to put garbage.
People gonna be very sick.
They could not smell the air because it's not it's dirty.
What else?
They will throw like so many things, and they could not smell air.
The tiger is walking to the lake. He drinks some water out of the lake. When he started drinking, he got caught in a bag. He couldn't breathe, so he wiggled the bag off of his head.
A dog was trying to get food and saw a piece of metal and thought it was food. The dog swallowed it and choked, but the dog got it out.
People, please recycle. It will help you and everybody that likes to come to the park, and all the little animals that will need help.
Hello, welcome to Hardcover News. My name is Mariah Washington.
And I'm Louis Johnson.
Today we'll be talking about the aspects of going green in low-income communities.
We will be hearing from Green Corps, Chicago Waste Management, and normal everyday people about going green and how can it save the world and save money.
We will also be showing you the difference in how people are exposed to environmental education in different neighborhoods. We believe the problem with environmental issues is that there is not enough knowledge about it.
Well, first off, what is actually going green? Let's take it to the streets and find out what they think.
Well, have you ever heard the term going green?
Not really. You gotta explain it to me.
Yeah, going green, what that is?
Okay. What is my definition of going green? Going green.
It was some in my school or something, but I don't know now.
No, what is that?
Can you believe that? That was very saddening. This is something that has been affecting our life, and some folks don't even know what it is or how to pursue it.
Now, let's hear from the experts.
Going green means so many different things to different people. To me, it means, protecting, our natural resources. That includes, air, water, and our other natural resources. So it's important to leave the planet in a better condition than what we found it in. So, having a family, it's important that, the next generation behind me has a cleaner and more green planet than the one I have currently.
Personally, it is about each individual trying to be more responsible about how we live and our impact on the environment. So that can be anything from using less energy to water conservation or not littering.
But there are people in these communities trying to raise awareness. One in particular is Green Corps. They are training people with criminal records to find a green collar job. We were lucky enough to have an interview with Andy and some of his workers from Green Corps.
Green Corps Chicago is a program that we run that was started in 1994, and it's a job training program teaching in landscape and horticulture as well as environmental health and safety. I think if more people were educated and informed about why it's important to be environmentally responsible, that we'd have more people participating. When we actually go out into the communities, we're making green spaces. We're putting in plants, creating sustainable landscapes, which use less water in their maintenance, and of course there's vegetable gardens for food production, which if people can grow more of their own food, then that's beneficial in an economic way to individuals, but also environmentally. Particularly the low-income communities that we work with, sometimes in our winter programs, which is not about community gardening, it's about home weatherization, where we go into homes and help them seal up leaks so they can save energy. It tends to be, in low-income neighborhoods, you tend to have more homes that are in bad repair. So you can make a pretty significant impact by helping fix up some of those old homes in low-income neighborhoods to help them save money and energy.
What is your definition of a green-collar job?
I think every job, whether it's currently defined as green-collar or not, will eventually need to be concerned with what its impact is on the environment. Our planet is the only planet that we have, and if we want to continue to live here, then we'll need to learn how to take care of it properly. So I think green-collar jobs are going to be important for finding a way for us to, our economy to function in a way that preserves our environment. Actually, for our program this year, the stimulus money has allowed our program to nearly double in size. So we've been able to create about probably close to 40 new jobs in our program for this year, and even more next year.
How far do you think the going green process will get? Will it be successful?
I'm not sure how to describe how far I think it'll get. I think eventually that there won't be a going green movement. It'll just be the way we live as a society.
What a beautiful thing they are doing for our community.
That's not all. There's another organization called Blacks in Green. We recently interviewed Naomi Davis, the founder and president.
We are an environmental organization, and we are all about the business of a vision of self-sustaining Black villages everywhere. Because you know what? If we're not taking care of ourselves within ourselves, we're what? We're waiting for the truck to come. We're waiting for someone to produce something and deliver it to us so that we can buy it. So we have a definition of green, which means that we do teach the 8 principles of green village building around town. We're going to be teaching it, as a matter of fact, at the University of Chicago Graham School Civic Knowledge Project this fall. It's an 8-week course, 1 principle per week. And we're actually looking at how we can work with neighbors for them to say, okay, sustainability, 1 square mile at a time. Where's my village? What are the assets of my village? What's missing? How can I help the neighbors who are wanting to buy things in our neighborhood to create their own businesses, their own green businesses? And how can we attract other businesses, the ones that are missing, the things that we want to buy or things that we need to buy? How can we attract those into our neighborhood? And how can we change our lifestyles so that we're conserving energy? We're here because a lot of what we've done in our first 3 years has been get the word out and have folks come in and hear about experts in the new green economy talk about the work that they do. But we also realize that there are a lot of people out there, the overwhelming majority, who are not going to hear our message or heed our invitation, who are not going to come out. So we've taken the initiative to coming out to where they are. And so what we do here at the Dating Game, the first Monday, we call it our First Monday Green Party. We come and we give out free compact fluorescent light bulbs, that's CFLs. We give out our little brochure, What's a Sustainable Community and Why Should I Care? And it's got 5 things every Black person should know about sustainable communities and the new green economy. Of course, you don't have to be Black to want to know it or to benefit from it, but we're on a mission because we feel like our community so often, you know, last hired, first fired, that whole syndrome, has an opportunity, maybe the closest thing to a silver bullet we'll ever see.
It is really nice to see organizations like BIG helping the communities that need help the most.
Since we're talking about going green, why is going green so important?
Hey hardcover people. A growing body of research shows how a living environment can have a big effect on one's life, especially for minorities and low-income communities. Everyone deserves a chance to live a healthy and green life. We should go green for the right reason, because we need to.
But how do we go green?
Well, we have put together a few tips for you.
Change your light bulbs to impact fluorescence. Ride your bicycle instead of driving your car. Riding your bike saves up money and keeps the air clean. Turn off your faucet when you are brushing your teeth and take shorter showers.
Well, that is it for our news segment today. Thank you for watching Hardcover News. My name is Mariah Washington.
And I'm Louis Johnson.
Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Did you know that 500 million plastic straws are discarded every day in the US? Imagine what that's like. If you could put each straw end to end, it could circle the globe 2.5 times each day. Are you even aware of the fact that that straw you're drinking out of isn't recyclable?
Yeah, but I'm not the only one. Isn't there that garbage island in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah, but that's not even the half of it. Not only is there a giant garbage island the size of Manhattan in the middle of the ocean, but plastic straws are the 5th most common element found in our streets, beaches, parks, and waterways. And even more significant is the fact that scientists are now finding that the plastics are being ingested by fish and therefore being ingested by us.
Wait, so you mean we're all full of plastic?
I mean, you are what you eat.
Wow, I didn't know plastic and straws were such a big deal. I want to talk to an expert.
Well, lucky for you, we have our friend Oriana on the scene with an expert.
Tell me about plastic and fish.
So plastic products are diverse and widespread. They actually have a long-lasting and negative impact on the health of our environment. Plastics, because they can never entirely biodegrade, will be in our environment for a long, long time. Unfortunately, a lot of them actually end up in our waterways. It's estimated that about 8 million tons end up in the ocean every year. So that can have a pretty negative impact on the health of our wildlife.
Oh, so it really sounds like there's a big problem. What can I do to help?
Well, one thing that would be a major help is to simply stop using plastic straws. But if you insist on using a straw, consider using a biodegradable one. When eating out, don't ask for a straw, and if you really want to make a difference, encourage local businesses to serve straws only upon request.
So what you're saying is ditch the disposables?
Yeah. Things like one-use plastic coffee cups, water bottles, shopping bags, and trash bags. It all adds up to a bigger problem that we all need to be aware of. So ditch your disposables and start today with single-use plastic straws.
That's today's tip for a sustainable planet and a more beautiful and healthy ecosystem.
Hi, my name's George.
And my name's Anaya. And this is Hardcover.
In today's episode, we'll be talking about Earth Month.
We'll be showing you how to compost and some old hardcover episodes.
As always, thank you for tuning in.
And have a happy Earth Month. You might be wondering what is an easy way to save our planet. The answer is composting. Composting reduces millions of tons of waste per year, and there are so many ways to do it. Here you can see our friend Denise at a local composting center. She just separates the waste from the plastic and puts it in the bin. This builds up over time, and if many people do this, much more waste will be reduced. If you want to try something even more eco-friendly, you can compost at home. Composting at home makes it easier to grow your own vegetables, saving you money, and a cycle is created. You can compost parts of your vegetables for more compost to grow more vegetables.
This is Howard Area Leadership Academy, and we will be doing a PSA on diving into danger, the pollution in Lake Michigan.
That's nice, y'all. Ugh, this juice is nasty. Girl, what is that? I don't know. I don't think you guys should be littering on these beaches. Littering? What are you even talking about, girl? I just saw her throw that juice over there. It's nothing but a juice bottle. Exactly. That's why our beaches are dirty now. Whatever.
Hi, we're from Howard Area Leadership, and we're filming a project on diving into danger. And we have a couple of questions for you. How do you feel about Chicago beaches being dirty?
Well, you need to foster a sense of care. I mean, if people go to the beach and they don't care whether or not they throw trash on the ground, well then you're not going to keep the beach clean. But if people start to care about it and just love the city, then it should be fine.
If you could do anything to keep our beaches clean and making awareness, what would you do?
I think regular rakings are important by the city. If something looks clean or taken care of, I think people have a tendency to take care of it. So that's what I would encourage.
How do you feel about Chicago beaches being dirty?
It's frustrating when people come during the summertime to swim and to enjoy the not just the beaches but the parks. They don't clean up after themselves, and it makes us upset, especially those of us like myself that volunteer to clean it up and have people come in and clean it up. Like last year I had about 50 people come and clean the beach and the parks, and it was probably about 5 hours, and they cleaned all around Rogers Park, half an hour later there was a party and it was dirty again. And it's not just that it doesn't look good. There's also, like, if you see down there on that corner,
Yes.
there's rats down there. They come up and I mean, if there didn't used to be that many rats, the more people have found out about our neighborhood beaches around here, the more they come and the more they leave stuff, and the more the rats come out and are visible during the night. And it's not, they have infections, and also people leave bones and, like food around, and I've had to pay $300 to get my dog, to take my dog to the emergency room after a piece of old meat that was left behind.
Do you think more should be done by a community or more should be done by people who are like professionals?
I will say the park district does a really good job. They come every morning and they clean up the best that they can. Streets and sanitation comes and picks up as best they can. I think that, that the city should put up signs as please clean up after yourself and explain why you should in both English and Spanish. And that, there's only so much we can do as people who live here. We've 2 days ago, we asked somebody if they could clean up after themselves, and they started yelling at us like we were the bad guys. So, I mean, I think that if there was a sign by the city, please, and list the reasons, that would be to everyone's advantage.
What are the rules for you as a dog owner?
Well, the only rules that we see up is that to keep them on the to keep our dogs on the leashes. Everything else is kind of loose. I mean, it doesn't say. I know at Loyola Beach it says, no dogs on beaches or something. But most of the signs here don't say that. So I would say that dogs, because it is a neighborhood beach, that there's no rules that say that I shouldn't take her down. There are some lifeguards that will say you can't have your dog on the beach. Then that day she just won't go down there.
What do you think we should do to keep our beaches clean?
I don't think there's much you can do about the water itself other than like the dumping that goes on. Because I know, I think last year there was the sewage leaked up in Wilmette, and then it all came right down here. So I don't know if there's more regulations that they need on the dumping in the lakes and stuff, but it seems like it's kind of already so bad that I don't know if there's much they can do to clean it up now, other than, I'm sure there's some sort of a waste removal thing that they can do, but I'm sure that's pretty costly. So,
do you think that people are contributing to the pollution of the lake, and why?
Yeah, I think people are, just because they're not thinking, just in terms of litter, I think that a lot of people, if you throw something on the street over here, when it rains, it floods all down into the lakes, because that's where the drainage goes. So it's like people inadvertently pollute the lake just by even littering in your own neighborhood, because, like I said, when the rain comes, it washes all that into the lake, and then it also causes a lot of the water to just even back up. So.
And if you have children, what things at the beach make you feel unsafe?
I know they put out flags when the water levels are unsafe to swim in, so I would say I feel like it's pretty safe to be down here with the kids. So how can we keep our beaches clean?
Don't feed the seagulls. Don't swim if you're not feeling well.
Infants in toddlers should not swim without diapers. Always throw your garbage away and always recycle.
What should the city do to keep our beaches clean?
They should rake our beaches on a regular basis. Wastewater treatment plants should stop dumping pollutants in the water. They should also continue to use safety flags to let us know when to go in the water. They should continue to put big belly trash cans by the beach.
Please help us keep our beaches clean.